Sledgehammer is often seen as the weakest of the three main COD developers, but I don't think that's fair. The studio may have a pretty mixed reputation with their games, but they've also designed a ton of great maps throughout the years in these games. In this video today, we're going to be talking about what I think are the 10 best maps that Sledgehammer has ever designed for Call of Duty. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. You let me know in the comments what you think the best Sledgehammer map is. You're probably going to be a little shocked at number 1, so stick around for that. Drop a like. And at number 10, I'm going to go with Hardhat in Modern Warfare 3, the original. I mean, did some of you forget? Sledgehammer made the multiplayer for this game. Now, Infinity Ward did the campaign and had their name all over it, but Sledgehammer was brought in to design the multiplayer, which means you have them to thank for this fan favorite map. Set in the middle of New York in a construction site, it was a very fast-paced map with an interesting square design that really allowed for intense fights in the middle. It also had a lot of flanking potential to keep things balanced. You could never get too comfortable in one place here. And there's some intense battles for control of the center of the map as well. And how many times did you get crazy multi-kills in the big tube in the middle? Hardhat was definitely one of the best maps in the original Modern Warfare 3. And it's one that I would always vote for when it popped up in the pregame lobby. I think it's a good way to kick off today's list. Before we move on, guys, if you need a daily dose of gaming news, leaks, rumors, new games that are coming out, go check out the other channel. The link is at the top of the descriptions. We just cracked 1,000 subs on our way to 2,000. I would love to see you guys over there. We just got done with a video talking about the next Xbox console actually dropping very, very soon. At number 9, 6-star in Modern Warfare 3 2023. Now, this game launched with all remakes of classic Modern Warfare 2 maps, but Sledgehammer has made tons of original maps for it as well, and there's some good ones. 6-star made a Chaos top 10 list not too long ago because of how visually stunning it was. In terms of the layout, it was a lot of fun. The community seems to like it. Takes place at a luxury hotel, features bright colors, great lighting. There's no corner camping here like there was in the Modern Warfare 2 maps, and an intertwined 3-lane design that kept the pace up while it also offered you a lot of options when going from objective to objective. It just kind of felt like something right out of the original Modern Warfare 3, and for me, and I guess the community, that's the main reason why it's loved. It's a good map. I think a lot of Modern Warfare 3 players would like to see it get remade in Sledgehammer's next game. At number 8, Dome. Yeah, they made Dome in Modern Warfare 3, the original. I mean, not only was it one of the most popular, if not most popular map in the original Modern Warfare 3, it also quickly became one of the most remade maps in COD history. It was the smallest map in the game. Still pretty decently sized compared to other small maps like Shipment and Nuketown. Dome? It just gave you just enough space to get your bearings together when you spawned in, while still being the craziest map in the game. 3-lane design, solid, well balanced with elevation changes, key power positions, kept it all spicy. The map was so popular that it was remade in Ghost, Infinite Warfare, Vanguard, and the new Modern Warfare 3, and I guarantee you it's going to come back in the future. I mean, I guess nobody's really complaining about this map being spammed. It's a great map. Community doesn't seem to mind at all when they remake it. At number 7, Eagle's Nest in Vanguard. Vanguard actually had some really good maps, even though I crap on the game all the time, many of which are remakes of previous COD maps, but with a World War paint job. I mean, Sledgehammer had a lot of really solid originals as well. Eagle's Nest was one of the first maps we ever got to play in Vanguard. Remained a popular choice in the community. It took place as a real-world Axis meeting base up in the mountains of Germany and featured intense, fast-paced combat that was kind of ridiculous on the inside of the main building, but in a good way. The outside lanes kept things a little more balanced and strategic, but the middle lane was basically a smaller version of Shipment. And if you managed to get a kill streak here, you deserved it, which made it even more satisfying. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the game, I can admit this map was good. At number 6, Meat, what a name, in Modern Warfare 3 2023. Released as part of Season 1. Meat was designed for both gunfight and standard multiplayer, which meant it was one of the most insane experiences in the game for 6v6, and yet it never really felt unbalanced or quite too crazy. Took place at a, you guessed it, slaughterhouse in California, so you would run around the alleyways of the building as well as through the main structure itself to get to the enemy team, although they were never too far away, so you always had to be on your toes. Not only was it a crazy map in terms of its layout, but it also had some pretty creepy vibes to it because there's just something kind of eerie about running around a sketchy slaughterhouse in gloomy weather. Super memorable map, in a good way. Now we arrive at the top 5. Emergency in Modern Warfare 3 2023. Might be a controversial pick, but I'm going to stick with it because I think it's one of the best small maps in COD history, and it is a shame that people aren't going to know what I'm talking about because they quit Modern Warfare 3 before it came out. Emergency was released in Season 3. It's one of the smallest maps in the 6v6 playlist, but it's also one of the most spaced out, which makes it feel super unique and kind of less brain rot. Like a lot of modern small COD maps are. You're running around the remnants of a massive disaster in Arizona. You can zip in and out of the buildings with a bunch of busted walls, empty vehicles. It was a classic setting for a Call of Duty map, but with a unique layout that made it extremely fast-paced and exciting without ever feeling unbalanced or random in the way that maps like Shipment and Rust sometimes can. It was a good map. I think it deserves a spot. At number 4, London Docks and COD World War II. Now, Call of Duty World War II was certainly not well liked for its maps. Not only were there only 9 of them on launch day, but they were also very committed to 3-lane design to the point that a lot of COD players at the time thought the maps in this game were boring and terrible. Now, I don't think the maps were as bad as people like to say they were, but I won't deny that there weren't many standouts in the game except London Docks. This map, it was great. It was a really good example of how to do a long, narrow map the right way. Despite being long and narrow, London Docks had great variety in its gameplay because of how close the 3 lanes were to each other, meaning basically every play style was viable here. Crazy sniper duels on the B-side lane. Other 2 lanes could be filled with shotgunners, suppressed SMG flankers, LMG spammers, or whatever. I think it was a good map. I'd like to see it come back. I don't think any COD World War II map has been remade yet. There's a reason for that, but this one would be a good place to start. At number 3, Terrace and Advanced Warfare. Everyone remembers this map. Where else could you jump between Greek rooftops and shoot lasers at each other? Terrace was set in Greece during the nighttime. It was one of the most visual, stunning multiplayer maps in COD history. But on top of having fantastic visuals and good vibes, it was some of Sledgehammer's best work, if you ask me, with the jetpacks. You really felt like a super soldier jumping between all the buildings, but you could still have a great time running around the ground floor, shredding through the alleyways and corridors. And a while back, I called this one of the best jetpack maps in COD history. I stand by it. In fact, I think there's only one other jetpack map that was better, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. And man, the elevation changes on Terrace were wild. At number 2, Sandbox and COD World War II. This map was added as free DLC for everyone in the summer of 2018, and it had a cool concept. Shrunken down into little green army men, and you were literally fighting each other in a sandbox filled with sandcastles, pails, shovels, and a magnifying glass that could actually set you on fire if the sun was shining through it. If you looked up, you could see giant soldiers hanging around the area, which was a cool little touch that added to the immersion. But aside from the visuals and the spectacle of all of it, Sandbox was a good map. The layout was super varied, it gave you lots of options for how you were going to approach things, and the 24/7 playlist was one of the most popular in the game. It was fast, but not too fast. It was varied, but not too varied. Played good in every game mode to me, and the fact that it was given away for free, that was a nice touch. And at number 1 today, I'm going to go with Detroit in Advanced Warfare. Not only is it the best jetpack map in COD history, I think it's also the best map that Sledgehammer has ever designed. This map was all about close quarters combat, super aggressive pushes. They were balanced. They were, with some mid-range standoffs in the middle of the map. This map had you running through the streets and buildings of Detroit and made you feel like a boss. Using your exosuit to speed through the environment like Iron Man and blow the enemy team away was cool. The combat was varied, the layout was excellent, the visuals were good, and it fit perfectly to this game. To me, this is where Advanced Warfare shined. This was their best experience, and I think it passes any of the boots on the ground maps by far. If we ever get the jetpack maps back, Detroit will be remade. I don't think it would work without the jetpacks, but with it, some of the best COD multiplayer ever. There you have it, my friend. Let me know one Sledgehammer map that deserved to make this list that didn't, and I'll see you guys soon.